All right, ladies and gentlemen. Some weeks back, I seen a video in my YouTube timeline, and it was an interview that Doggy Diamonds did with Scott LaRock Jr. And he was talking about how he almost wanted to punch KRS-One. Now, according to Scott LaRock Jr., and I'm paraphrasing, KRS-One really wasn't around for him during his youth. He still lived in the projects, and he really didn't receive a dime off of or any royalties from Criminal Minded. And my thing is this. I believe in KRS-One's interview and everything. I mean, the label that originally put out Criminal Minded, I don't think KRS-One really made any money from that album. In fact, he didn't really start making money until By All Means Necessary album, or maybe the album after that. I mean, most of his money was made from shows. So I don't understand where the argument is. And I was cruising through YouTube to see if KRS-One had a counter argument against Scott LaRock Jr., and so far KRS-One has yet to respond to Scott LaRock Jr. And for all I know, Scott LaRock Jr. could be right. KRS-One didn't really look out for him. He said out of all that whole camp, the only person that was thorough was D Nice. And I'm not one to dispute all that and everything, but still, it you know I remember Scott LaRock Jr. appearing in the My Philosophy music video. And you would think that since um, Scott LaRock Sr. was KRS-One's right hand man and everything, he would look out for his son and maybe set up a scholarship thing for him or what have you. But here's the thing to consider, Scott LaRock Jr. And I know I can't say I blame you for having the feelings you do, but did you do your research on whether KRS-One actually got, or your father actually got, any royalties from Criminal Minded? Because Scott LaRock was only around for one album, unfortunately. The subsequent albums after that, he obviously wasn't around. He was deceased. So for you to come out and say all this has me scratching my head here. And in fact, this is what I noticed with all these airs of hip hop, as I like to call them. With the Chris Rivers and Big Pun and Scott Rock Jr. and Scott Rock Sr. We have to consider that some of their relatives may have not been well versed in the music industry and how things work in the music industry. And two, oftentimes with a lot of these situations, um, the surviving person, and I mean Scott LaRock's wife, girlfriend, or partner, or whatever, may have had differences with KRS-One at some point or another, and that spilled over to the children. So, I mean, for all we know, maybe KRS-One did try to mend and have a relationship with Scott LaRock Jr., but for whatever reason, the mother of Scott LaRock Jr. wasn't allowing that, or maybe KRS-One did try to hit them off with some ends and she spent it as quickly as she got it. Those are things we really don't even think about. But I'm not ready to throw KRS-One um, out with the bathwater. If KRS-One was to have a show in my town, I would buy a ticket and go and see it. I'm not convinced. I really do want to hear KRS-One's side of the story on it. But since this is a private affair, I doubt we will. Um, from my research, KRS-One is working on a new album. I went on his YouTube page and he periodically posts updates on the new album he's working on. Dr. Dre is involved with it. I'm not sure what rappers are going to be on it, but he is working on a new joint. So I think that's where his mind is on right now. He really doesn't want to, okay, let me get out the studio and go respond to Scott LaRock Jr. right quick. So I mean, I'm just interested in hearing KRS One's side of the story on it and seeing if he can dispel some you know whatever Scott LaRock Jr. put out there about him as far as him and his dad or Junior and KRS One goes. So that is my opinion op-ed on Scott LaRock Jr.'s gripe with KRS One. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. One love.